We're here!
Ah!
Woohoo! Welcome everybody. I'm joined by Jamie and by Jasper.
Good evening, everyone. Hello.
How are you both this evening?
Good, good.
I'm good. I'm good as well.
Excellent. So tonight we are looking at the Rhb Anniversary Collection, which came out today, and hopefully everybody's having fun with it. If you're not, let us know, or if you are, let us know. You know what you're doing with it and how are you enjoying it. If you've got any issues at all, then do make sure you raise a support ticket or drop a note on the forums. Everybody's going to be keenly looking out to make sure we can help you. But we thought we'd take a look. So we did a previous stream last week, didn't we, Jasper?
Yes.
With JD, and we kind of focused on the open coach and the jingly lights and the lovely song that it plays that everyone wants to hear more of. And we tried to show the Linie Viaduct, but in the build we had, it didn't work. Now, happy to say, it does work, yes. So we'll be doing the Linie Viaduct tonight. In fact, it's probably the first thing we're going to do. But I also thought we'd do a bit of freight, because that's new in the new timetable, isn't it, Jasper?
Exactly. We have 10 new services with the new timetable, and 8 of them, I believe, are freight services.
Superb. So we're going to have a look at that. And then there is the fantastic Christmas delivery scenario. And we're not going to run it all, because you know what? It's just so cool. You need to experience it yourself. But we need to show you a bit so you get why it's cool and why it's different, because it is kind of different. It is different. First time this sort of thing has been done in the game, so it's really fun.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And Steve B, breaking all the speed boards in the latest patch. Yes, we're aware of it, and the team are looking into it. We think we have a handle on what's gone wrong. We don't have a handle on why it wasn't spotted and fixed before release, but that's a separate problem, unrelated to this. It was one of the many core updates that got rolled in, but we are on it, and we will get it fixed as soon as we can. It's another case of adding functionality and having unintended side effects. So there's no such thing as a quick, simple change. Unfortunately, that's what this was supposed to have been. Yeah, much like the thing that caused all the red lights. Actually, it's pretty much an echo of what happened there. So there's clearly lessons to be learned. But anyway, I just wanted to answer that because that's a valid point, and we do need to address that because that will have affected people. What it does is just affects the speed, the speed limit boards. Right, okay. Should we get into the train? Before we do that, let's just quickly look at the. There's 2 timetables now, isn't there, Jasper? Do you want to just run us through what the differences are and what's changed and so forth?
With the launch of the patch, not the launch of the patch, but the launch of the Anniversary Livery Collection, we had the Arosa timetable fix going live finally, and that added in the illuminated viaduct to the old timetable as well. So if you're on the base Arosa line and you haven't got the Anniversary Collection, you'll still see the illuminated viaduct if you set snow to on and are there in the evening. Other than that, the Anniversary Collection timetable is basically the old one with 10 additional services. That's it. That's the changes between us.
So I wanted to ask a question, Jasper, based on what I've just been exploring the add-on for the last couple of hours in readiness for the stream.
Yeah.
Are there any services that use the open coach?
Yes, they are. Since this coach is only, there's only one version of it in real life. In the game we have 2. You can easily find the ones with the Christmas version by looking for a Christmas service. It's in the name of the service. So if you go to the end of the day, there's one Christmas Arosa Core, the $14.99.
There you go. There we are.
Yes.
So if we just search for Christmas, so there's 2. There we go. One at $8.59 and one at $22.20.
Exactly.
So those will be services you can run with the. You can run with the open coach, and then
that's the 2 ones with the Christmas coach. There's still the normal coach that you can find as well. I know that the $14.39 is one with the coach. I had to write that down because I was just
the
skipping through the
$14.39
services.
has got the open in it as well, and then freight services are all signified with an F.
Exactly.
This one, 5431F. So that's how you've identified the freight service. Bit harder to search for them, because if you search for an F... No, actually, it's good.
Actually, it works.
Actually, because it's not used anywhere else, that works perfectly. So you can just search for F, boom, job done.
Yeah, okay.
So we're gonna run something on here in a bit. But the liveries it comes with. Talk us through the liveries.
Exactly. Yeah. So we have 5 new liveries, which are the main star of this pack. Each of them are celebrating an anniversary that happened either on the entire RHB or a specific RHB route. Like, for example, the first one is 100 years for Bernina. We have the 125 livery for the entire RHB, and 2 more 100-year liveries. And yeah, they were all built in the real world, and they added these to the original locomotives, and now they're in games, so you can enjoy them on your home.
So just before everyone gets overexcited, okay, this livery does not come in the pack. Yeah.
I had a feeling that was that. I was like, I wonder if it is. I was like,
just saying, this livery doesn't come in the pack. If you want it, you're gonna have to make it yourself. Yeah, sorry about that, folks. Yeah, just need to make sure everyone's disappointment is measured. All right, right, okay.
We'll have that next time.
The good news is it took all of about 8 seconds to make. So there you go.
On creative process.
Go livery designer.
yeah.
Right, well, we're not going to use the glorious pink one tonight. We're going to use one of these even more glorious painted ones. Pick a livery, Jamie.
Oh, that's a difficult one because they're all lovely.
Aren't they?
Let's go.
We're going to be using the green one, I think, in the Christmas one. So let's not do the green one.
Let's do
remember
1,
rightly,
2,
that
5.
one's on the Christmas one. You want the that one?
Yeah.
Let's do that one. Right, now, I've got to remember my settings here. Lots of snow. About half a cloud. And then I need to run the service at 1450. I'll explain why in a minute. And we're going to go down the hill. Because we went up the hill last time. And actually down the hill, I quite enjoyed down the hill. I find it a bit more fun. Right, so it is a bit on the dark side on this service. There is a reason why it's a bit on the dark side, but let me just turn some stuff on.
And that's not just a famous reference.
Sorry?
I said that's not just a famous reference.
Right, so let's have a quick look at the livery from the outside. Lovely detail.
Especially with Rhb and the Allegra on the side there. So Rhb's on there is the steam loco, and the Allegra is the new unit. So that celebrated the 125 years. I don't know if that photograph is posable, but Rhb is currently in overhaul at the moment, and the boiler has just arrived in Norfolk. So I haven't seen it yet, but the boiler has just arrived from work. So yeah.
Wasn't Rhb the first locomotive they've ever had?
It was,
I
yes.
think the idea is that image is the first and the latest, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, Strike Eagle, there are freight services. We're going to run one after this. Just lock the doors. And then we just go wee down the hill. I think that's the technical term for it, yeah?
Yeah, that's perfectly described. Yeah. But actually, see if you can remember how to do it properly. Because like there's one specific way that the RHB drivers do it in real world. Yeah. Let's see if you do it alright. No pressure though.
Liam, it says it's a shame I'm not in the pack. Should be as a train spotter, should I? Just me there with a camera, sort of standing at Langvisa Viaduct. It's like, there we go, there we are.
Just adjust the dynamic brakes now as the air brakes come in.
I have nothing to say about that, but yeah, well done.
So what I'm doing is I've got the air brakes applied a little bit, which takes the weight of the effort, and then use the dynamic brakes. It's exactly the same as coming down the hill in the American trains. To be honest, you need to use a combination of air to sort of get you down to a sensible level of effort required, and then your electric brakes will you can then use, because you can trim your electric brakes really quickly, whereas your air brakes historically are a pain. They're all really slow, and they're quite slow on this, even though this is a really short train. They're quite slow. Chief Longshing, yes, I'm on PC tonight.
And we're playing the release build.
This is the release build, yes.
Yeah. So that is what everyone else will get if they buy the route.
Yeah.
Well, these would be vacuum brakes rather than air brakes, wouldn't they?
Well, they vacuum
True,
on this,
yeah.
so that's why they're slow.
Yep.
Yeah, they're vacuum brakes. One of the something I found out is one of the I think it was carried on, obviously, because in Steam days they used vacuum brakes, and I think it's one of the last sort of major railways that uses vacuum brakes rather than air brakes. Yeah, something I found out the other day. I was like, oh, well, there you go, there's another one. It's another little factoid about the RHB, so yeah.
Why they set to 33 kilometres per hour, I don't know. It's going to be a rule on the railroad, I guess. It's a bit like America, and it's 79 miles per hour. There are these numbers are relevant to certain things.
Probably had something around 30 kilometers limit in the old days, and then technology allowed them to go a little bit faster. Maybe that's why I have it. I guess something like that. No.
Well, I'm doing this one dark because if we do it properly, do a nice dark scenario, the Liverys Viaduct will look stunning because it's got all the lights lit up. As long as I've done this correctly. It might be that I've not done this correctly. I've not driven it all the way to Liverys, so I wanted to come up with a time of day. There's a flaw or limitation, I should say, in the way the time of day system works in TSW, where if you do this later than now, the snow brightens up the entire scene. So like 10 PM, it appears like the day is lighter, weirdly enough. Whereas at around sort of 5:30 PM, it's actually it's quite a decent level of brightness. So that's why I'm choosing this sort of time of day rather than when you'd expect, just go really late, because that's what I tried. And the sun, it was like the sun was turned on for the snow. So that's something that I want to get looked into. It's something that did get looked into for Dresden, actually. Ended some fixes to the time of day for that route, but we need to. You can't just plop the new time of day on a different route and expect it to work. So.
But that's something core related and not specific.
Yeah, you're not specific to this route. No, it's a core issue. No, it's not the moon calendar. It's just sliders in the wrong places and graphs that are set up wrongly and technical things that I don't really understand. But no, it's just focus and it's fixing.
A CTSL rail fan said it's 33 kilometres, is about 20 miles an hour, so it sort of makes sense why it would be 33. But obviously, you've got the different speed limits for the different curves, curvature, and and also you will notice that you've got on the boards. I think there's a difference between passenger and freight speeds as well. So you'll see when you go past there's a different speed restriction. So you've got a 30 and a 33. 30 will be freight, and your 33 will be passenger.
It's always like the slower, or the lower one is the one for freight.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Lovely run past.
Green at the end for us. If you haven't seen the signals before, it's a single signal that refers to both tracks, and you can see that it's two underneath signals here. The first one on the right tells us the right track is clear, the one on the left tells us the left track is not. That's how you interpret that. And they actually don't apply there. So if it's red, it applies at this board, not here. So if you go past this board, then you have spad.
So be careful when driving.
It's a really
down
interesting system. Oh, actually, yeah, get rid of the cameras. Let's get rid of the cameras. Is it that one? That'll do, won't it? Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Ease off the electrics and let speed come up a little bit.
Yep.
What's that black box? Oh, hang on, let me get rid of the black box. No, the black box. Oh, the black box is gone now anyway. It's not on this scene. Next split is still playing up. My Love has Isaac's question for Jasper. Is the Christmas lights at Arosa and Kerr on scenarios only, and will you see the snowman and Christmas trees only in scenarios as well?
Yeah, that's a yes.
So they're scenery assets.
They're scenery assets which are specifically placed in the scenarios, and the only thing that is triggered by the snow is the lighting on the lamp by the viaduct.
What do you mean get rid of Matt's microphone too? Rude.
I'm surprised Moggy would. I knew Moggy would say that.
Will you demonstrate SPAD for us? Probably, Liam, at some point. Yep. Purely for science. Hello, bushes.
Trying to find the best angle.
So does that mean if you start the game without snow, the lights suddenly appear? Was I supposed to stop somewhere? No, I'm not.
No.
I haven't missed it yet, sorry.
You're good to go.
Oh, of course, we're going around the corner here, so I was trying to work out where I was going up. It's because we're going around here, okay.
Yeah, you got the
Stop
special link there.
panicking, stop panicking.
And there's another corner coming, so you've got a little more time. Yeah.
You never
But-
noticed
but
I
to
had
answer
an
that
extra
question-
microphone. Well, where have I got an extra microphone?
But to answer that question with the snow, I don't think they appear suddenly, because it's enough if you move the snow slider just a little bit to activate the illumination. So you should be good even if snow adds up then.
But what you can do, Jasper, is you can start the game with no snow, yeah, and make it snowing, and that will
true.
make the snow build up.
True.
So that would be interesting. Tell us, folks.
Yeah,
Try
that'd be
it,
interesting to see. Interesting to see, that would.
Oh Matt, someone is mentioning on German that you haven't turned on the lights for the passengers, so
No,
they're
that's
sitting
fine,
in
they'll live
complete
without.
darkness.
It's here, they're here to see the lights. There you go, it's fine.
Train lights are now on. There you go.
Photo, there we go. Yeah, Train Simulator driver, exactly. You never know how far it is until you get to the final straight part of the track in the station.
I think it's incredible the way they just built railways in Switzerland as a whole.
Yeah.
You know, to say that they, Arosa they thought was, you just look at the track work and the viaducts and embankments and tunnels and everything they had to build.
Yeah.
Such an amazing feat of engineering.
Yeah. And that's only the obvious stuff you see. There's nothing like the calculations and all the thinking
the
that
end
goes
result.
into building a route
The
like
end
that.
result
Yeah.
does look an awful lot easier than the calculations to get to that end result. Frequently.
Yeah.
That's close enough. Bye bye.
The other one's off. So that is, that's another anniversary livery now going up.
There is an outside chance we'll see a pink one tonight, but
You saw. I love the designs and all the sort of like the little sort of poster style ones. They were the little posters that they had, but also you could get them. They did a load of pin badges when the anniversaries actually came around, so you used to be able to get just the pin badge of that, which is quite cool. But also I'm not sure how many of the liveries still exist. I've been trying to have a look at see which ones still are on locomotives.
I don't think there are any of them still present.
I think there's one, at least one, but I
Or
can't
one,
remember which.
yeah.
Can't remember which one it is. I need to have a double check. But I know that there's. I'm sure there's a livery that's still left, but I'm just trying to, because the RHB changes them so often. Just trying to remember which ones are still on them, which ones aren't.
I know that we had that discussion on the Rivet Games forums, so I don't take credit for that, and I'm not entirely sure if it's 100% right, but let me find out. It's the 100 years Kur Arosa.
So the Kur Arosa
six-
one still exists.
Yeah, yeah. At least that's what a member of our forum says.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's true.
Yeah.
But I believe it is.
I know someone in the chat had asked what our favourite, what our favourite liveries are. So I'll start with you, Jasper, and see what's your favourite out of the.
That's a hard guess, or that's hard because I like the kind of design that they apply to these locomotives. But if I had to choose one, that would be the Kur Arosa one, just because I like the blue, the dark blue and the red train going over the viaduct. It looks brilliant. Yeah.
Matt, what would be your favourite?
I quite like the green one.
You like the green one?
Yeah, I quite like the green one.
Fair, yeah, that's a nice one. I think I like this one with Rear Dragon 125, but I would be biased because it's got Rhb on it. But
I don't think there's a right answer. It's just they all look stunning. So yeah,
definitely.
wouldn't want to pick one.
I'd say there's no wrong answer really. They're all good.
Yeah.
Calidor, yes, this is a single track route with passing loops essentially at the stations, and there's also passing loop sidings as well, or passing loops without stations along the route as well.
No.
I just noticed someone had asked how old the locomotives are. So they were built between 1973 and 1984. They're all mainly in service now. It was 23 produced altogether. I think there was only one that's been scrapped due to an accident, but all the rest are still in service. They were built by SLM and BBC. But there we go. There's a little bit of information for you.
British Ace asked if we're doing the present delivering later. Yes, we will.
We're going to do a bit of it anyway.
A bit of it, yeah.
We're not doing all of it. Don't want to spoil it. I'm really enjoying this rundown. Actually, it's a nice. It looks really nice at this level of brightness. There's an eeriness to it, and it feels cold.
It does.
It feels super cold. The combination of the dark and the snow is just like. Brr.
Thankfully we're outside, huh?
Although I have been to the Bernina line, or I have been up in the Bernina line in the snow, but I haven't. That was like where it was only sort of a few centimeters deep, and this was like mid-September. But I'd like to see. Oh, hello! Here comes the viaduct.
Yes, we are. Yeah.
I'd like to see deeper snow.
Get out of it, house.
Get out of the way! Go on!
But imagine the view you'll have in that house.
Definitely.
Stunning. Yeah.
You'd have a different view every day, wouldn't you?
True. Yeah. Probably every hour.
Yes. Yeah. Moggy's saying it's looked very Christmassy. It is very Christmassy. Yes. Very, very Christmassy.
Blackbeard Station is just after the viaduct, just around the corner.
It's an amazing viaduct.
It was actually for quite a long time the biggest of its kind, because it's built in a certain way, out of concrete. That was
It was in the biggest single span viaduct or something like that.
I don't think it had to do anything with the width of the span, but it was the way they built it out of concrete that was so special about it.
Yeah.
Will the snowman and Christmas tree be ever on passenger mode if you turn on snow? Will that ever happen? I don't think so. No. It's only the viaduct illumination that you can see right now.
Look at that. That is absolutely fantastic. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous.
Just think that for what we did, the viaduct turned out pretty good. Just gives you a perfect impression of how it looks in real life.
Because they do light it, don't they? At Christmas time, they do actually. They do actually put lights on it. Which I must admit, I wouldn't want to do. It's bad enough probably doing a house, let alone doing a viaduct. You know.
Yeah, true. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
No, but you're right. It's actually not a fictional thing. They did it first in 2015, 14. Don't quote me on that one. But they're doing it every year since then. There's actually a time-lapse video on the Rhb channel, which is like an uphill run, and you can see that the illumination is shining down the valley, so you can see it for quite a bit driving uphill. That looks really cool.
I imagine that looks really nice.
No. So you can see the stars moving at the sky and stuff, like really well done. Definitely polar experts here. Yeah, true.
There's a view, look, on the roof. Got it right.
It was a good choice for the time of the day. Looks, yeah, really good. Doesn't look like 5 in the evening. More looks like, I don't know.
Well,
10
it's
or 11.
December, so you expect it to be dark by 5 o'clock. So the problem is, for some reason, the light comes up really harsh. I don't know if it's because the moonlight's dialed up too high or what, but yeah, the light comes up too harsh, and I just kept dialing the time back until it quietened down again.
David is asking in the chat, are more passengers going to be added to the route? If you mean the rush hour passengers by that, not at the moment, no. We haven't planned adding them.
Why is the route so slow? Have you not seen the corners and the very, very steep drops? That's mainly the reason, I think. Corners and steep drops.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good reason.
You wouldn't want to come off, let's put it that way.
No.
Sorry, Matt, if you wondered where I disappeared to.
No, we don't have the open air carriage attached to that train.
It's just the normal coaches, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. How do you go downhill so easily? There's like 2 things you have to do. Apply the brakes, the air brake to like around 40%, and then do the fine tuning with the electric brake.
Electric brake is really, really lovely to control.
Yeah.
It's instant response, and there is more than enough power on that electric brake. You don't technically need the air brake even. The electric can hold it without going to its maximum, but you know, why do that? So you put an air brake application on, and then immediately apply the electric brake is at the bottom end. So you notice you've got 0, you've got positive power, and you've got the bremsen, which is the brake section. So you move it below 0 and you get brake. Essentially, you get electric brake. And literally all I'm doing is you can see up here the braking minus 40%. So I'm using the D key to make it go higher and the A key for it to be lower. And then you can just adjust it. So and it's just really easy to adjust it. We've gone on 0 degrees here, so I can kill the brakes off, and then I can reapply power again. So that we can keep the speed up over the bridge. But then as soon as we get over the bridge, it'll be so put the power into, so you can see put it up into positive for driving, put it down into there. If I press D again and hold it, you then get into the braking sections for it. So you just need to just balance the combination of the air brakes and the electric brakes. But if you just want to start you know, just easy, then don't even worry about the air brakes. That's doing it properly. But you can, if you just practice the electric brakes, you'll learn a lot.
No.
And then
you
can come to the air brakes, you know, when you want to start, you know, figuring out how the drivers really do it.
Yeah. Just thinking about what would happen if you used the electric brake only in real life, because I would guess that would overheat the locomotive at some point.
You would have a problem. You probably would get to the point with your overheating. We don't have overheating in the sim, so you get to play fast and loose with physics. But you're also putting an awful lot of strain on the loco as well.
True.
Whereas with the air brakes on, you balance the brake pressures out. You know, if anything happened to the loco, the brakes are the coaches are not got any kind of brake.
No.
Whereas when doing it this way, it's much easier. But no, that's the technique. You just add it down. You do get the amount of dynamic braking on the HUD, so you can see at the moment 270 amps is power. We are going down now, so I'm going to put the power off. See, the power comes off. Now if I apply the braking, you'll see that we get amps and it's now orange, and also you get 36% down here. This is the electric brake. So as I apply and release the electric brake, you can see what's being applied here, and then you can use the accelerometer here, which has a quartering. It's quartered, i.e. it's in the 4 quarters. So you can see from the exact center point whether I'm accelerating or decelerating. See, I'm gently accelerating. And now if I apply the dynamic brake a bit, you can see it coming back into the center of it. So you can just balance your speed out by just balancing the accelerometer perfectly into the middle there. And like I said, with the flexibility and responsiveness you've got on the electric brake here, you can really fine tune it. I mean, I'm not even using air brakes at this point, but then we're not even on a 1% down at the moment, so I don't really need it. It's just balancing, just practicing that technique with the air brakes, using the accelerometer. Of course, the real train doesn't have an accelerometer, so you could just, you know, watch the speedometer and see if you're speeding up or slowing down, and just do it that way. But that's the technique.
Which is how the drivers would do it anyway. They would look at the speedometer and, you know...
See at the pants as well, you kind of feel if you're speeding up or slowing down a bit.
Yeah. Especially with the gradients, because when you go over there and you actually feel the gradient, you can feel the differences. It's quite an amazing sort of feeling, actually. Some of the, you know, you can feel the sort of coaches going against the locos and everything. It's quite amazing. You know, but yeah, it's great fun. Once you get a hang of it, it's great fun.
So we've got some air brakes applied now. We're on a 2% down. Readjust the dynamic, the electric brakes, and in fact we're slowing down. that's good. Don't want to slow down.
Speed
Oh,
up.
that's because we need. Thought 2%. Oh, that's the steep bit. Not in this route. 2%'s nothing in this route. Yeah, that's the key thing with this route. What you're not perhaps necessarily capturing from the what you can see on the screen is the fact that it's what 6%, isn't it? This route.
Yeah, 6% is the steepest it goes.
Yeah, this is a steep route.
Yeah,
Steepest
actually the
to trains in
steepest in
world.
trains. I was just going to say that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the highest. It's the most adhesion they could get out without using rack assistance.
Yeah.
So, I think when they built the Albula line, they worked out what's the highest gradient we can use with a steam locomotive with, say, I don't know, 5 to 6 coaches behind, without it struggling, or without it slipping or stopping. And then they worked out the gradient with that. This was done exactly the same with the Arosa and the Bernina line for the electric locomotives of the time. So that was one thing they worked out when they built the route.
Or we're going to have a look at that for a future update and see how practical that is to put on the older stock. There you go, 6% down, bubble.
There we go. Yeah, you can actually see how the track, turns from a 0% gradient into
Not
6%.
obvious.
Not really.
It's quite amazing how steep it is, actually. Yeah.
Very steep, 6%.
Kind of amazes me that this
American
train
railroads
actually
consider
manages.
2% to be quite steep.
But that's
I
not
think
fair in terms of train weight.
One of the things they've got the Saluda grade, which was 5.5%. So
Oh, really? Okay.
yeah, that was that's no longer in use as far as I'm aware. Because
Okay.
they had the Saluda grade had this really interesting thing that at the top of the grade you tripped a mechanical switch, and if you got to the next mechanical switch too soon, it wouldn't reset a point at the bottom, so you'd end up diving off the main line, and it would sandbox you, sand pit the train. The idea being, if you went down too fast, it wouldn't let you get onto the main. So if you went down and you'd had control of the speed, then you'd hit this second switch after the trigger point, and it would change the point so that you could come out. It's just
That's a smart
That's
system.
clever, very clever.
Yeah. Yeah, Saluda is closed. Okay.
There's a fascinating video on YouTube of how they descend the Saluda grade, and it's well worth the watch. That's the
So, like,
landslide whistle, yes, Calador, yeah. Sorry, that's what you were saying. Oh, look at
Is that one of the big American routes, like you would imagine them with like these heavy long trains?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, even more impressive then.
There was a gradient of an industrial railway in the UK. I can't remember what the gradient was. I think it was like something like 1 in 17 or something silly. And it was so steep that they had the 060 austerity J94s. They would only be able to take up a wagon at a time in order to get up to the bank, which is how steep the gradient was. And I've got a video of it, and it's looking down onto. There's a VHS I've got, and it's looking down onto the gradient, and it's just insane. You're like, how on earth did that loco get up?
Someone in chat mentioned that they're actually transporting trains of up to 12 tons. No, 12,000 tons. Not 12,000, that would be too much. No, 12 tons, I believe it is. Up this hill.
At this point, we are 100 tons.
No, it's yeah. I've read the message wrong. It's like, mind you, that the RHB isn't transporting 12,000 tons. Yeah, it's not this. I was like, 12,000 tons, that's quite a lot for a small locomotive like that, and going on a 6% grade, and that was okay. Yeah.
There you go.
Makes
Nico
sense.
Diva's got it. Bernina is 1 in 14. There you go. This is the Euro, but Bernina is 1 in 14. No train simulator drive, but no, they were still about when I was. I don't look. I'm not that young. Like.
Nice train simulator driver. Nice.
that was really well. F in the chat for Jamie. Yeah.
How steep is MSB? I can't remember. I think that's in the order of a couple of percent.
We're heading
No
towards.
one remembers Laserdisc Nico Diva. No one remembers Laserdisc. Sorry, you were.
I've seen some laser discs, but not many.
Yeah, but I bet it's only because it was a movie about ice cream. Look at that gradient change. Jeez.
Yeah.
It's like the top of a roller coaster, isn't it?
Yeah,
BMX, see, that's where it was at. I didn't really have a point, to be fair. Well, words.
I must admit, someone had mentioned it would be nice to see a rack railway TSW. I thought it would be. I don't know how that would work, Matt. But
We could fake the rack and give it 100% adhesion.
Oh well, that's true. Yeah.
Mm.
Liam, no, I don't think the RHB has used banking locomotives.
No.
I think if they were going to, most of the time they will double head rather than bank.
I can imagine banking would be really hazardous with these sharp curves.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah. So they normally, Liam, they do normally double head. Now the Gotthard, so standard gauge, the standard gauge Gotthard, and I can't remember the other name, BLS. They use bankers, but they don't as much now, purely because the Gotthard-based tunnel now has got rid of a lot of that, so they don't need to. But originally, I mean, most trains would have 2 or 3 locomotives on the front and a banker as well. A bit almost like America actually in some cases, but there was special sidings I think on the Gotthard, so the train would come up and the special siding, the loco would come up into and bank the train up the Gotthard.
CKUK Mail, only left slot cartridge though. For those of you that get one, get.
Imagine having Train Sim World on a DVD. Like I kind of remember when I installed Microsoft Train Simulator back then, and you had to like swap the discs in between. And I mean, I think it was like 4 discs or something.
MSTS was 2 discs.
Oh, 2 discs. Okay.
2 discs.
Yeah, okay. But
I
imagine
know
like
because my first disc stopped working. So so I had the pleasure that it would only work until I needed to reinstall it, and then I was stuffed.
Mm-hmm.
No.
But actually, I mean, it doesn't really matter if disc 2 wouldn't work. That'd be as bad as it would be.
I think there has been a TSW disc release, hasn't there?
Yeah, we've had several.
Yeah.
The
really?
Sandpatch Grave went out on disc. We had TSW 2020 as the next major release. On the consoles, obviously GWE as the Founders Edition. We had Train Sim World 2. Rush Hour is now out as well.
Yeah, how much content can you stuff on a disc like that?
Well, I mean, okay, look. Oh no, cameras aren't on. Totally effective.
Turn the cameras on, Matt, if you can see.
Drive the train, man. Sure. Right. Yeah, I've got my Xbox One copy of Rush Hour Deluxe Edition here. Well, open my speed.
I know someone was saying Flight Sim or one of the FS9 is 4 discs. That's a big installation, that is.
It's the world we live in today.
Yeah.
But it's actually the game being on disc, and it's not just like a code to redeem.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think. I think they you do still have to put a code in, but I'm not sure how it exactly works. I think the updates come in, don't they? Because obviously with a disc, you don't know how many updates a game has had. You know, so.
Oscar de la Cruz, we are aware of the speed board showing 0 limit on Dresden. We became aware of it far too late, unfortunately. and we're working on a fix. It's one of these things where an extra feature was added, and the impacts of it weren't quite appreciated. Apologies, we'll get that fixed out as soon as we got it sorted.
Yeah, I just seen Liam and Derek talking about the Gotthard base tunnel. Yes, they literally built the Gotthard base tunnel. So the Gotthard was just through a massive, through the Alps basically. I think it's one of the longest tunnels ever built. And actually the Rhb is doing a massive upgrade as well. They've got a tunnel on the Buller line, which just towards Samaritz. And the tunnel is now past its best. It's going to need major repairs. So instead, what they've done is built a new tunnel right next door to it, which is quite insane. So they've just decided to build another tunnel right next to it, and I think it should be open in the next few years. I think, but yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, like the Swiss are really good with hitting their dates.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
It's almost like they're good at making clocks.
Yeah, yeah. Like something Germans can dream of.
It's really fun driving this thing downhill. I don't really quite so interesting driving up because of the cruise control. Kind of sorts of. Whereas downhill, particularly where you've got places where the gradient changes, like I think it's flattening out a bit here. And you've got to keep an eye on it, especially if you are mixing your air brakes and your dynamic brakes to balance your speed. You've got to keep an eye on it and keep looking at it, and it's really, really interesting going downhill.
I still think we should do a 4-up. Sorry.
Go on.
No, I was just going to say we still got to do a 4-up challenge on this. I think it would be quite fun. I must admit.
No, but that's what I like about this kind of route. You can either have it like the easy way when going uphill and just using cruise control, and you can actually do it the easy way if you're going downhill and just using the electric brake. But you could go like realistic mode as well if you just decide to use the combination of both brakes. That's kind of cool. Just depends on what mood you're in and how much effort you want to put into it. You can decide what you want to do. Yeah.
Black floppy disks. Do you mean 5 1/4 inch cheap flocks? Don't be dissing the 5 1/4 inch discs.
Oh, he's speeding, Matt. Oh, that was
No,
close.
I'm not. You never saw it. No one saw a thing. That yellow was just something funny on your monitor. You're responsible for cleaning your monitors, everybody. Oh, that wasn't even a stop. Oh, hang on. Except it is a stop.
Yes, you got a red signal, yeah. It's probably a train coming up the hill.
How very dare it.
I just love the traditional stations. It's amazing to think that they built them. And, yeah, it just looks... Because people always used to live in them as well, because that's why they're so big. They've got... so each station master used to live in one, each of the stations.
Train Simulator Driver, yeah, I had a PC with... Oh, not PC, but a computer. It's an old CPM-80 machine that had twin 8-inch disc drives on it. Huge big thing. Needed a forklift to move it around. Funny how floppy sell more the smaller they got. That applies to flash disks, doesn't it? I'm sure every time I get a new USB disk, it's smaller and much more easily losable than the last one, and it's got a terabyte of data on it I can lose now as well.
Who uses USB sticks these days?
I do.
Actually?
Yeah, I use them several times. I had to reactivate my PlayStation 4 dev kit this week. That needs a USB disk. And whenever I do voiceover recordings, I have to. I go on. We've got a little tablet my wife and I use for voiceover recordings that so that it's not connected to any electrical supplies. And then we use a USB drive to swap the data across.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you got one recently that was from I can't remember. It was a Loco, wasn't it? Matt, you
Yes,
got
I've
one
still
of
got it
those.
here. In fact, 64 gigabytes, I think it is, which is ridiculous. Of turning the cameras on. Sorry, folks.
Oh, that's
Ah.
cute.
By the way,
OBB
my
Taurus.
camera's broken. My camera's broken because
You joined
my
and
PC
you
crashed.
came off and rejoined.
frozen.
So funny. Oh dear. There we go. I'm back.
Ooh.
Actually, I have got something here as well because I wanted to bring this in. There we go. Look. Oh, hello. Move it that way. There we go. So we've got an RHB GE442, and this is actually the livery. If I bring it a bit further out, actually, this was actually the livery that I had my face on. So there's 50,000 people. You'll probably see there's not much, but you can see all these different little people, and they're all pictures, and I'm one of them on the side. But yeah, so that shows sort of the liveries that they do, and so for their fans and people like that. And there's a train coming in. Yeah, it's a 125 livery.
So that wasn't pink. Oh,
Nope.
Wonder if we're going to see the pink livery.
oh, I got the light. Well, I've got
Lovely.
a green light. Oh, now I've got. It tells me which one is me as well. So we're all good.
No, sweet. Yeah. Oh yeah, we forgot to tell you, Matt. There was a pink bus.
Danny shared it
yesterday.
on my Discord, so
Oh,
I got to
brilliant.
see it. It's a new Route Master, isn't it? NBFL.
Yes, it is. Yes, yeah, yeah.
Very good.
I just heard Chief Longston has asked, is a static model? No, it is a motorised model. It's made by BMO, which is part of Marklin. So it's a HOM scale, which is, for those who don't know, for OO gauge or HO gauge, this is the meter gauge version, so it's a slightly smaller gauge than OO and HO, but it's slightly wider than 009, which is quite interesting. So it's a very unique gauge.
Narrow gauge on 00 track, basically.
Yes, it is basically. Yeah.
When are we getting Jamie's head on an RHB? Yeah, good thing.
I'm sure
having
someone will come up with that next. You watch.
We've got a livery designer, you know. Make it happen,
Yeah.
folks. And it's
Oh,
got to
yeah.
be in this
Good,
Christmas
good.
jumper.
Yeah, it's got to be in this.
You've got to do it in the Christmas jumper.
Yeah, got to be in the Christmas jumper.
And yes, David, that's noted. I don't know why that is.
Oh, CFL, is it not Marklin? I thought it was, or I thought it was part of Marklin. The Marklin family. Might be wrong because I thought I know LGB is. Might be wrong, but.
Actually, don't think Merklin is.
Oh, right, okay. I'm trying to remember all the different ones.
I've got LGB ICE behind me.
Yeah, did you actually see what the RHB had an LGB livery on the side? So they actually had.
I did see that, yes.
Yeah, so they had GE442s in LGB all on the side of the loco. Absolutely fantastic.
Coming down the side of the mountain. Yeah, I just don't think I'd want to be going too fast around here.
No, you wouldn't. No.
I'm wondering if I'm going too fast as it is. That's just my paranoia speaking.
I don't understand, man. I don't understand that.
This.
Are you scared of heights?
Me, I'm terrified of heights.
Actually, me too.
I would actually. Yes, I'm a slightly terrified. Must admit though, I'm not afraid of heights when I'm on the train, which is weird.
Yeah, true.
I imagine
Because
in
it's-
reality, if I was sat comfortably on a seat and I was looking out at heights, I would be, much more happy with it. But
Yeah.
2 steps
Yeah.
up the ladder is enough for me.
Yeah, true. Yeah, it's kind of the same. Yep. As long as it's massive and it gives you the kind of safety feeling you have on, I don't know, like on top of an old church or something like that. That's perfectly fine. But if you
My fear of
are
heights
on,
is
like,
literally about how far can I fall, So if I'm really high up, but when I fall, I just fall onto the ground of the vehicle that I'm in, then I'm not high up, and it's fine. But if I'm on a ladder, then
Yeah.
it's just wrong the minute we're on one step.
yeah,
There was-
yeah.
There was
Like these fire exit staircases, with like this square
Ugh.
metal piece. Oh,
And especially when there's
Yeah.
a bunch of people on there and it's shaking.
oh, yeah.
Oh no, yeah.
Love
But
it.
there's a viaduct on the Rhb. I can't remember. You might know, Jasper. There's the one. It's the one on the Phyllis Davos line, the really high one. I forgot what it was called.
It's
I've
an
seen
RHB
familiar-
route with a really hard, tall viaduct.
Yeah, I can't.
Let me
I
see
can't
which one
remember-
that might be.
That's a rare thing. Yeah, pretty
I-
rare thing.
I can't remember which one it is. I'm gonna have to type it up now because I'm gonna. This is gonna annoy me
Weissner
now.
Viaduct, says CFO.
What was it?
Weissner Viaduct.
Viaduct, yes.
Oh.
I walked over that viaduct because there's a pathway right next to it. So literally, where the viaduct is, they've literally got a pathway, got steels, stuck them into the side of the viaduct. So there's literally a pathway that goes all the way along. But it isn't really a path. You know those corrugated bits, like the squares, where you can see all the way through? That's the whole way along.
Brilliant.
So you can imagine walking along that. Scariest thing I think
Bridge,
I've
as
ever
I would
done.
call it.
What's that?
Not a bridge, no.
Nope Bridge, as I would call
Yeah,
it.
no bridge. And I thought I guess it was funny because I was on this rail tour and my mate was like, "Go on, go and take a photograph of the rail tour." I was like, "Go on, all right then." And we got to this viaduct. I was like, "No way am I walking across this." And we were like, "Well, we've got to go and take the picture." So we ended up walking across. We were holding on to the side, and oh, it was so funny. But yeah, no, I'm not doing that again. Yes, that's the one, CFL. Yeah, it's that photo spot on the other side. Yeah. Yeah, it's that photo spot. Yeah, no, I didn't want to do that again. Not if I can help it. But,
That one has a pathway next to it.
So when
yeah, you can't...
I spent about 3 months living in Sydney, and while I was out there, someone said, "Oh, while you're here, you should walk across the Harbour Bridge." And I'm like, "But why? Why should I walk across the Harbour Bridge?" They meant the top, not the normal bit. They meant over the top.
Yeah.
As CFL has said, it's 90 metres high, the viaduct. So you can imagine walking...
I imagine the view is gorgeous.
Oh yeah, oh definitely. And CFL said
Assuming
the pictures are worth
your
getting.
vision cannot be blurred from all of the shaking.
Yeah, it is a beautiful view. I mean, it's certainly, as CFL said, it's certainly worth going over for a photograph. Because once you get the photograph, you can line the loco up with the viaducts and get a full set in with the viaducts.
Oh, nice.
Gorgeous shot. It's a gorgeous shot. So I got a crop.
Pictures are worth crossing the bridge, yeah.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, if you can stick the heights and if you've got, just don't look down, you'd be all right. But yeah.
The problem is you can't tell me to not do something because I instinctively do it.
I mean, I remember there was people cycling along it, and I was like, oh my god, But I think for people living there, they'd be used to that. Do it every day, wouldn't they? Some people.
Oh, yeah, you get used to it.
Yeah. Stu Joy said he's been over the top of the Harbour Bridge in Sydney. Oh, Calidor 266. Now they've started turning skyscrapers into thrill rides. Here in Chicago, they extended the Shears Tower skydeck outwards with a glass floor, so you can look down 1,400 feet straight down. Oh,
Why?
why would you just know?
They did that actually in Sydney CBD when I was out there. There was a huge building there that they had a thing that you could go out onto the top of, and I was just looking at it. Okay, just send me a photo, yeah.
Yeah. I thought the Eiffel Tower was bad enough.
I think that one might actually have been called Skydeck as well, thinking about it. Or Sky something.
Yeah.
Kirchstadt is next. Is that the end? No, and then platform.
Yeah.
Like what used to be the old town of Chur, it's now just Chur town, which is what Kurstadt translates to.
It's a lovely place, isn't it? Have you been before?
Actually, not. No.
No. Oh, it's a lovely place. Lovely.
Switzerland has many beautiful places that I've not been to, but I would like to go.
Yeah. Although this is the line that I still haven't done yet, Rosa. Amazingly, I still haven't done it yet. It's the next thing I've got to do.
Well, if we're ever let out of our bedrooms for any amount of time, then it keeps coming back.
Don't say it too loud. Probably will hear you.
Oh, I wouldn't want to do a roller coaster off the side of a skyscraper. No, no way. It's a nice cab as well.
This is just a lovely, lovely train overall. It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not the ceiling so much, but the wooden floors and the engine room you can go to and turn on the light in there just gives you. What was it like? I think you said it was the opposite of cozy, something like scary, and I don't know. I actually think it looks cozy. It's like this warm light.
I think it is a very cozy cab because I think the GE443s, they're more sort of computer controlled, aren't they? The threes, they've got more. I think the chairs you can actually control it from the chair almost. I can't remember, that was a video I saw years ago that they could do that, but the you know, I think it's a nice. It does look a comfortable cab. I mean, in the Crocs, for example, I mean, this would have been a major upgrade for the drivers back then, because the Crocs were standing locos. When you drove a Croc, it was standing up all the while. So to say, oh, by the way, now you can drive your loco with sitting down, it must have been a complete and utter change to them, you know.
Game changer.
Yeah. Because this is basically what replaced the Crocs, wasn't it? So, you know.
Yeah, they introduced this locomotive because like the Crocs were getting unreliable, and so they had to come up with something new.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a much simpler design, just having 2 axles on each bogie rather than having like the complicated design of the crocodiles.
But I still find it amazing that there's 2 regular service Crocs that are now 100 years old, you know, and they're still doing daily service. It's quite incredible how they do it, you know, to get 2 Crocs in service all the time, you know, it's quite incredible.
Yeah. Especially with keeping them or doing the maintenance on these old locomotives, because I imagine you can't go to your local seller and grab whatever you need to replace an old locomotive. So
Yeah, I'm not sure. I have been into the works at Lanquart when they were overhauling a croc, and they literally just take it to bit. They take everything off, and it's just a bare frames. They take the wheels off, the rods, the cab, the whole lot just comes off. And they put it, it's amazing, they put it all into neat little boxes, and it's all labelled up. And they took us round and showed us how they did it and how they repaired it all. And they turn a croc round, I think, in an overhaul, a major overhaul for service, I think in something like 3 to 4 months, which is incredible. Considering it's a 100-year-old engine.
Yeah.
So yeah, and as CFL has just said, Crocodile 415 has recently been redone. So yeah, it's an incredible way they do it. They look after the Crocs as they would a GE442, GE446, GE443. Sorry, any of the modern locomotives, they would look after it, the Croc exactly the same. So we'll have a real sort of mainline overhaul.
Yeah. It would be interesting to have such an old and complicated locomotive for trains and road. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I would love to see.
Probably won't tell that to our desk, because I imagine they would kill me for that idea. Nice drive by.
Yeah, so CFL, yeah. One of the Crocs is in silver, isn't it? No, it's not silver, shiny silver. So it's an peel-off livery, and peel it off and the brown's still underneath. It's quite clever.
Thanks, Nigel, for the warm compliments. Really appreciate it.
Go past the yard. Now into street running. Linie into a tram now.
Yeah. Actually, you're laughing, but it's actually like they're following, like in Europe, you have some special bootstrap, is it called? They have special rules for when a train is driving on a street like it is here. So it is basically a tram at this point.
So it's under sort of tram rules almost.
Even the signals look very like the tram signals.
Yeah. And you have special signage and that kind of stuff, so yeah.
I mean, it's quite amazing because it's not a short distance either, and there's no sort of lower voltage or anything like that. You got to remember to yourself that's a real railway pantograph with high electricity just going through the street.
Yep.
Although someone's overtaking.
Cheek. I'm offended.
You want to race
Speed
it?
up, man.
Can't speed up.
Good.
Coming in nice and steady then. Don't stop too early, Matt.
Oh, interesting. Switzerland doesn't legally distinguish trams and trains, so they can do that street running easily. Okay.
Oh, really? Oh, wow. Okay, that's interesting.
That's definitely something different here in Germany, because I know that there are a few things where we have trains or trams running on regular train things as well. And these trains need to have like the usual stuff that a car would have, such as a blinker or like a braking light. I mean, yeah, no train would need something like that, but in that specific case, they do need that. Okay, it's a German thing, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, as CFL has said, I mean, the Bernina is another one you can think of, where it goes into Italy, and the Italy part, how it's, a very, very part of, you know, a very big part there where it's all in the street.
Yeah.
Oh, hello.
Oh, that was close.
I was waiting for it to happen.
Cheek.
That's not how it should be.
Oh yeah, CFL. Yeah, CFL has just said Montbavon, Appenzella, and Franvel Wheel, I think. So yeah, it's quite a lot of railways in Switzerland that use street running. It's quite interesting.
He tried to brake test me. Well, he'd have lost. I believe the car that he's driving is made of paper mache compared to my train.
Oh, hello.
Still not pink.
Can
Got a freight service coming up
Oh, freight service.
on the Rhb Anniversary. Lovely.
Yeah, Chemnitz. That's a German city. Actually, that's coming to trains a lot soon. That has these trains. Yeah. Which run like a tram and a real train. Yeah. Glad to see Verstappen is in the game.
Oh.
That's a good one. I have to admit. Oh, there's the open coach, isn't it? Yeah.
On the red signal, Matt. On the red signal.
I'm stopping. It's all good. Panically not,
James.
sir.
Jamie's getting nervous.
No, he's getting hopeful.
Yeah, I was getting over.
Maybe.
There you go.
Yeah, so that's the open
That's
coach.
the normal open coach, not the extra fun plus
Yeah.
plus coach.
That version.
Also, there's the RHB has two different versions of the coach, which isn't in the but you've got the four-wheeler and the Bogey Coach. So this is the Bogey Coach, which is included, but the four-wheeler I think was built off original wagons, whereas the Bogey Coach, which is in this one, is more based off vintage coaches. So hence why it's got the corridor connections.
Look at that.
Not too
What
Almost.
bad.
did you get?
God,
Hey,
of
gold.
course.
Lovely, lovely.
So it is approved the timetable update is finally working. So you are able to get a goal. Way.
Right, so what we do, we won't run the whole of this next one. We'll just do a little bit just so we can run off. I just wanted to show a freight service since freight is new. Let's pick another livery. Jasper, your turn to pick a livery.
It's my turn. I would like to go for the 627. For the
Arosa.
Arosa. Yeah.
We're going to do this one with a bit of cloud level, but we're not going to do it with the snow. And we will do 5424F.
Sounds good.
Right, okay, let's master switch, reverse, headlights. Don't need to worry about train passengers because they're logs. They're asleep, sleeping like a log.
Oh,
But there's no point moving. We can move forward, but there's not much point because our ground signal for us is right here. Is good, but the that one is not. So, and it's because there's a train further on down the line. So we're just going to have to hold fire a moment. But yes, this is one of the new services. Lots of people asking for freight, and this is one of the freight services. So you just use F to search for freight in the timetable, and you can find all the different freights that have been added.
Yeah. That's one of 8 new freight services that you can enjoy.
Where is it?
Actually, not too sure about if there's a train coming
Here
in.
it is. It's this one here.
Ah.
Because we're going
Okay, it's
into a
going down.
single, it's
Yeah.
just one giant block. So until it clears that signal, it won't let me out. It's not a green signal, especially in Carrick. The ground frame to get here is, but then I have to stop there. So there's not much point moving at this point. In a moment, though, there you go. We got the green light.
There you go, now
and
it's
left
green.
track. So now it makes sense to move.
It's just so funny. Moggy's just gone. Mogs have feelings too. As Cesar said, yeah. So the Bogey Open Coach, which is the one in the game, was a normal coach before, but the four-wheeler, which isn't included in this, which is the other type of open coach, which is on the Rhb. They're mainly used on the Linie. They're very, very old, but they've been used on the Linie line for years.
It's a long block in real life. Yeah, it would be. The signals. If you're a single track like this, they rarely signal it more than they need to. Signals cost money, lots of money, and then you've got all the wires for the signals to make it all work together as well. So, and you got to imagine when these signals probably went in, they would have been semaphores, not electronics, which means there would have been long, pull cables and things down the line for it. So you don't have signals if you don't need them. So for a long single track section like this, you really don't need more than one signal in there, one at the end, one at the beginning, one at the end. Unless you want to run multiple trains in the same direction, and if they don't have that need for that, then they won't bother with the extra signalling.
Quebec, no, that the freight services aren't in the free update. You'll only get the fixed timetable, as well as some improvements to the physics of the locomotive and the gangways, and the illuminated viaduct. Okay, Derek, yeah, replied as well.
They quite often run little short freights like this, but because the freight wagons are obviously a lot heavier than coaches are. Sometimes, and I don't know if this is in the timetable, sometimes they actually mix the freight onto the passengers so that it frees up a diagram slot.
Yeah, there is one in the not in the timetable, but in the one scenario, you can enjoy a train with having 2 unloaded wagons attached to the end of the train. So it's quite a long train then.
But yeah, it's a regular thing on the Rhb. You see it all the time. You know, they will easily have a set and then just add wagons on the back.
Not only on the Arosa line, it's like on every Rhb line.
It is, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So when you've got passing loops, it will be fully signalled, Liam. Like this one, you can see all the entrances and exits for the passing loops are fully signalled. But if you've got no passing loops, there aren't any passing loops between here and there until you get to the station. And again, you're fully signalled at the station. We'll just take this as far as the not Cursan, but the end of this loop, this block. We'll do the Christmas one.
That sounds like a plan. Yeah, that's literally routine passing loop that we're heading to at the moment.
Also, interestingly, all the stations along the line have sayings, don't they, as well?
Yeah, true. I think we had that on the initial Arosa launch that we spoke
We
about
did.
these.
Yeah.
So there's
So I
like
remember
some-
finding them all and going to try and do it. I was getting my mate in Switzerland to translate them for me.
Yeah, yeah. Probably they're in the old Swiss language, aren't they?
Yes, yeah.
It's
they
like
were.
the straight Romanian thing. Yeah, think that's what it's called. Yeah.
You can see the extent of some of these gradients though. But this will give you a good idea of how to plan your descent as well. You can see there's a shelf coming up here, a plateau in the gradient.
Liam, where would that be?
I know a lot of the talking about single track. I know a lot of the RHB is single track, but the RHB is now going through a big phase of now upgrading a lot of sort of heavy trunk areas. So they're now double tracking quite a lot of areas. One example recently was the Benina line, Benina. Sorry, not the Benina. Samaden end. The Buller line have just double tracked between Samaden and I can't remember the other name of the station because there's another branch that goes off. So they're starting to upgrade a lot of the junctions, bits and pieces along some of the major trunk routes, which is quite interesting seeing what they're doing.
I'm not sure what you're talking about, Liam. Yeah, sorry. Mika starts true. Quite a unique language, great Romanian. It's like a really old language that they used to speak in some parts of Switzerland, but it's now slowly dying because, yeah, I mean Switzerland has already 3 languages at least, which is German, France, and Italy. So, Italian, not Italy.
Yeah, CFL has just pointed out, yeah, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 different sections they've just recently double tracked, which is quite incredible. And that's in the space of time that I've so I think the last time I went over was 2018. So in nearly 3.5 years, they've already done that, which is quite incredible, really. It's amazing how fast they progress with their engineering work over there.
Not nearly that.
I love seeing all the dials as well. Really does light up the cab really well.
The instrument lighting is very nice on this cab, yeah. I do like it.
Hello, another train waiting for us with the panoramic. Look at that.
Yeah, there we go. It's not literally, it's actually Peist. I was thinking they were further down the line. Is it Peist? No, it's
Doing
Castile.
Castile, yeah. And then the saying, Matt, is just above the veranda. So if you look further up, there you go. So they all the stations have that, have a saying.
That's actually a German one. So I understand that. That's like where there's a will, there's the way. That's basically what's up there.
It's the motto for our engineering team. And there really is a will. There you go. Right, we'll stop there on that one, and then let's do a little bit of the Christmas train service scenario. What's it?
Liam, yes, the
That's
RHB is separate to the
Christmas delivery,
SBB.
yeah.
The RHB is probably one of the largest private companies in Switzerland. So a lot of the meter gauge railways are private, whereas the SBB is more standard gauge.
So there we are. And in this scenario where you're driving the Christmas package, we're starting obviously in Arosa. We have to pick up our locomotive and then couple it to the train. So that's what we're going to do now.
Also noticed all the names on the Christmas presents as well.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah, there you go. There it is.
So there are names from our team members on some of the presents. But that came up in one of the company calls. Someone just created it, and we left it in just because we felt it was like a nice touch.
And this is your favourite livery, man.
Yeah. It's because it's delivery Christmas presents, but I therefore have to like it.
Moggy says, "Where's his Prezi?"
Yeah, it was ice cream when it melted. Sorry.
Oops.
Oh dear.
Nigel, yes, you can ride as a passenger in the panoramic coach, of course.
It's a normal coach. You can sit in any of the seats.
Yeah.
It's quite fun to do. I've done it a couple of times where you just sit in the seat and let the loco do the work. It's brilliant.
And as you can see, we have like a special Christmas decoration in the Christmas themed scenarios, which is the one we're at the playing right now. That's Christmas delivery, and the other one is 'Tis the Season. So we have two Christmas themed scenarios.
There's a snowman on the right as well.
Yeah, exactly. They're like little snowmans and Christmas trees hidden all over the place. So lots of things for you to discover.
You got your shot signal. Don't damage any of the presents, man.
I make no promises.
Just hope there's no glass in there.
Hopefully.
Crunch. Okay. It's
Ouch.
fine.
Something's going to be broken in there now.
They're not my presents. So it's all good. Hey, look.
Oh, there you are. There's yours.
You get the big one, I see.
Yeah.
What's
Where's
one
ours?
of the big ones? What do you think?
Oh, hello.
Oh, look, there's Tim's.
Yeah.
Isn't that a bit too early to wish someone Merry Christmas?
It's
Like
December.
you?
It's fine.
It's not
Oh.
so. It's not too early. We already. If there's. We've been saying it to people. I think in our team meetings, haven't we, Matt? If we're not going to see them because some people are finishing
Yeah,
early.
true. Okay. Yeah.
Nah, it's December. It's all good.
I actually already
If they can
sent
put
off the
mince
Christmas
pies in the shops
presents,
in
so-
October, then I can say Merry Christmas in December.
Yeah, true. Actually, I have to admit though, I'm one of the people as soon as there are, I don't know what they're called in English, Lebkuchen? Like these little, let me find out what they're called.
I think my first Christmas treat actually that I got wasn't mince pies; it was stolen.
Gingerbread.
I do like a bit of stolen.
Good stuff, yeah. No, gingerbread, that's what I meant. Like,
Ah,
as soon as they're
gingerbread,
available in the stores, I'm like the first person to get them, just because like they're so fresh and tasty and... Mhm.
Right, this is cool. This is cool. So we walk over.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Present.
there you go.
Download it.
And you have to do it a second time in the station, and wait before you press it, because if you turn around and look at the end where the locomotive is, and press it then, you can see the presents appear on the stations with the particle and sound effect.
Yay!
Hooray!
That's cool.
So we've done that implementing a new system that allows us to unload these presents with like this imaginary button on the side of the freight wagons, and then they're getting delivered onto the station. I think it's quite a
I think it's fantastic.
That is really,
it's
really cool.
nice detail. Yeah. Stolen. Wow.
Stolen. The problem with calling it stolen is it's nowhere near as funny with the puns.
True. Yes, Liam, we do, of course. Yeah, we've been good kids this year. Got a lot of presents. Is it like I was about to ask this on the last stream already, but is it like in the English language? Do you call a glühwein? Is that actually a thing?
What?
Glühwein,
Blue wine.
or was it just Jamie who JD who learned a new German word that he was using?
Probably that. I mean,
Okay.
JD loves sort of weird and wonderful words and wonderful language and every formality. So I think
Okay, yeah.
I think it might be that. But,
It's like the hot beverage that you get at the Christmas markets, which usually contains alcohol.
oh, is it mulled wine? Like
Mulled wine. Yeah.
Yeah,
What
could
we
be.
have.
Yeah, it is.
Mulled wine. Yeah. That's So a lot of people have that. So a lot of people start early on that. A lot of people get early on that. They're like, as soon as it's in the shops, right?
Okay, interesting. Liam says it can be used in English, but usually it's mulled wine. Okay.
Yeah.
Stuff is dangerous, yeah, it is.
There
Can't
we
breathe
go.
in if you're drinking some of it. We adopt everyone's country.
Yeah, the UK just gets bits from everyone and goes, there we go.
It's like the same with kindergarten, right? LaserJet asked if I have heard if there's a new German route. I'm the wrong person on the stream to ask about the new German route.
Yes, there's the Chemnitz is the new route. It's not out yet though. How many liveries are in this pack? How many is it?
Five?
5 or 6, yeah. So you start at our major station and deliver some presents.
No, I think he's asking how many liveries are in the pack.
Ah, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, I've got confused with liveries and deliveries. No, it's 5 liveries. 5 custom ones for the for the anniversaries.
Laser Jet says sinks in the back because of Matt's pink livery.
You're just jealous.
Well, Laser Jet, you can easily make it, you know.
I'm going to
Next
upload my own range of pink livery trains
Yes,
to the
yeah.
to the Creators Club.
You can make it an entire lineup.
Oh, that's what I'm going
just-
to do. Every train in
Oh,
pink. Maximum effort.
We'll call it the Matt Pink Pack. Hey!
Pink rail.
that's not a good night.
Pink Rail!
Next item for Rosa will be mod wine delivery. We need some tankers for that.
Yes, yeah. I must admit, there was an the Ziltriel barn in Austria. They have a barrel-shaped wagon at the back of the steam services at the back of that, and it's a bar. It's a bar in the back, and it's shaped as a barrel. I think it's one of the best things ever. It's fantastic.
Really?
I know.
Yeah.
One and a half kilometres. We'll just write this one to Liverys and do another parcel delivery, I think, and then we'll call it a night. Then we'll leave you to finish this one on your own. The Shielders and Chemnitz is going very well, thank you. It's a really fun route to drive.
Looking forward actually to see that, because I'm curious how you implemented like the tilting train.
It's Tilt, it's GNT, GST, it's PZB4, it's just a crazy madness route. So much fun.
Hello, you got an amber?
How dare they hold up the delivery of presents?
Sunset would not be happy.
No, not being happy to have.
Very Christmassy scene though, isn't it?
It is. Very much.
Especially with the red logos, the white stripes on them.
Yeah.
It's got
It's
Santa's outfit written all over it.
fits really well.
I must admit, they do a lot of lovely things. I was looking at sort of what the RHB does over Christmas, and there's a lovely thing what they do. They do all sorts of things, don't they? You know, they're not. You know, they There's actually a photograph I found somewhere of the open coach full of snowmen. They built snowmen. So they got the open coach. They put Christmas lights on it, and then they put snowmen in the seats.
That's cool.
I was just like, that's fantastic. Who comes up with that? I was like, you know, oh, brilliant. If you type it is there. I have seen it. If anybody can find it, it's brilliant, absolutely hilarious. And I think they actually made a model of it. I can't remember if BMO did or LGB did, but it did actually happen. So they made a model of it as well.
Yes, the tilting tech has been done now. Now we have tilting tech in the game, so it's another core feature tech thing, so that we can do tilting trains in the future if we wish.
Oh, there you go. CFL has just confirmed. Yeah, the open coach was full of snowmen. Was when the Bernina line was added to the UNESCO World Heritage. There we go. Now why now for that? Thanks, CFL.
Liverys is coming up.
Oh, funny Wolf Boy. Sure it's not frozen passengers. Yeah, they didn't put enough clothes on, Will.
Must be really cold in this wagon, especially winter. I mean, it's up the mountains, so it's probably not warm either when it's summer. No.
Oh, it's quite funny because you do need to, but when you travel on the RHB, you know, especially in September, you can be in nice sunshine or rain or whatever, you know, and it's quite mild. And you get to the top of the mountain and you're like, actually, I should have brought a massive great coat because there's snow on the ground. Because you've got no idea what's going to happen, you know.
No. Okay, they're actually only including the cabrio cars, they call it, from the end of May to the end of October.
Yes.
Only if you have a good weather. So. Yeah.
Liam, the snow never bothered them anyway.
God. Ah.
Everyone who sees seen the film.
It's the
has that
season.
song now in
It's the
its
season
head.
for Frozen.
Yeah.
puns, you know.
It's true.
They don't work any other time of the year, or at least, you know, when you try it, people just look at you and go, "What?" That's what I find anyway.
I've watched it this summer and I think it was alright. I mean, yeah. It's still a cute film and you
Yeah, it's a
have to
lovely
laugh
film.
or laugh.
Endless supply of puns.
Yes. Would you do like a good old pun on the stream, don't we, chat, eh?
So was mine, Liam. Did you miss it? I can do it again for you if you want. The snow never bothered them anyway.
No, please stop. I can hear the song.
No. Please. Good one, Moggy. Good one.
We all like frozen treats, and Moggy is our frozen treats.
I could just see Moggy sort of like turning up on a hot summer day with just like Moggy's treats on a sign with a little, like, you know, a little tray with all like ice creams all over it. But then he'd have extortionate
It would
prices.
be an empty tray though within about 8 seconds because he ate them all himself.
Exactly. I was going to say he would have extortionate prices because he wouldn't want to sell anything to us.
They're being mean about my pun. Stop being mean.
Yeah. Stop being mean. It's fine.
He's got a point though.
Penitentiary, is that what you mean, Liam?
No, look at the Christmas lights here. And
Christmas
the snowman.
lights and snowmen and frozen passengers.
Oh.
Is that what we're going to call snowmen from now on? Frozen passengers?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Yeah.
Next thing they'll want is an animation of the passenger turning into a snowman and the snowman turning into a passenger.
I mean, there's a whole Pixar film about that, shouldn't we?
Yeah, there must be.
Just while we're at it, going about making winterly puns. So if we finish the stream,
Hey.
do we then say I'm out?
What's that? Sorry, I
Don't worry
missed
about
that.
it.
What did you
No,
say?
don't worry about it.
Jasper is
Probably
bringing shame
bad
onto
as
his
it
family.
gets. Yeah. Something like that.
Alright,
Actually,
Mr.
if you look
Snowman.
close on, if you look close on him, he has like a little Switzerland flag on his head.
Oh, on the other side.
side. Yeah. There it is.
Very good.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, lovely. Brilliant.
Lovely.
Didn't need to have a
Don't forget the
Fine.
top man.
1 out of 20.
Got many more to collect, Matt.
I know. Same with a lot of them. Okay, folks, let me bring the cameras back. We're all back. And they're not frozen. Look at that. Dum-dum-dum. Right, let's...
He did it again.
Oh dear.
Oh.
Oh dear. Well, I hope you enjoyed this, folks. So this was we did the Arosa to service first, so you could see the Liverys Viaduct. And just to remind you, that was snow 100%, it was clouds 50%, and it was the 1450 service. 1450, 1650, 4:50 p.m. And then we did 5424 Foxtrot for freight. If you just search for F, you'll get all of the freight services. So you can see those, and then this was the beginning of the Christmas delivery scenario, so that you can look at that. You've got all the different liveries in there to play with. You can make your own pink livery, even extra bonus. Although you can do that in the base pack, to be fair. So, and that's the pack out now.
Yeah.
All platforms. I think it's all platforms.
All
isn't it?
platforms.
Excellent. So yeah, enjoy, and let us know how you get on. All right.
Sounds good.
Say good night, folks.
Bye.
All right. All right. Cheers.
See you later, everybody. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.
Cheers.
Thanks. Yeah. Cheers.